Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk about BBAI versus SoundHound. Let's start with the total revenue. Let's jump right into it. You'll notice the revenue has been increasing for SoundHound quarter over quarter, year over year. Let's switch to the annual so you can see those numbers slowly increasing, and we would expect more going into earnings and next year and so on and so forth. Their cost of goods pretty low. Let's look at Big Bear AI. Their cost of goods sold is much higher. You'll notice we're in the 20 millions range versus the cost of goods sold for SoundHound in the 3 million range as of right now. So you'll notice there's a huge difference between cost of goods sold for each company. The total revenue, though, interestingly enough, the total revenue for BBAI is in the 40 million range. Kind of tends to hover around there, and but it's got a lot of cost when it comes to like cost of goods sold. It's a lot. It's like way more. So right now, I would give the nod. If we go head to head, I would give the nod to SoundHound AI as long as they continue growing their revenue and as long as they keep the cost of goods low. Then it should be technically better off than BBAI. Gross profit around the same. You know what's funny? This previous quarter, the gross profit 13.02 million for BBAI, SoundHound 13.24 million. It's been around the same, even despite the fact that the total revenue for BBAI is higher. Despite that, so despite all that, they kind of are about the same right now. But just keep in mind the cost of goods sold is way higher for BBAI relative to SoundHound. So I think SoundHound here has a lot more potential. Now, if we score, obviously the net income and the negatives, both they're not profitable, technically speaking, both in negative, almost in the negative 20 million range for both of them. So it really does come down to the cost of goods sold being so much higher. Look at this: 2 million, 3 million, 1 million. Then you could look at BBAI, despite the higher revenues, it's just look at that cost of goods sold. Like, wow, that is a lot. But and here's the best part. Let's look at the balance sheet now. Let's look at the balance sheet. You'll notice the total assets to liabilities pretty good for SoundHound AI here. 151 million, 122 million, pretty solid assets to liabilities ratio. And then you look at not SoundHound, at BBAI. And you look at BBAI, what do you see, guys? 199, let's round it up, 200 million assets, 267 million liabilities. So they have way more liabilities than assets. So I would have to give the W here SoundHound if we're just comparing assets to liabilities ratio. And then you look at the total debt, 200 million for BBAI. Then you look at SoundHound's debt. Oops. You look at SoundHound's debt and you see 90 million. So overall, if we look at I don't really want to show you the charts. Just take my word for it. Right now, SoundHound, it's still kind of coming down from that huge surge. The Nvidia investment catalyst that sent it to $10. It's still coming down, still has a long way to go to get lower. Back to its original price point before the surge. BBAI is near a bottom. So it's kind of like if you're just going off of which is the better buy, right now BBAI. But over the long term, probably SoundHound, just based on everything I just went over. That's it for the video, guys. Hopefully you like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Definitely look into buying SoundHound when it gets cheaper. BBEI might be a good trade opportunity based on where it's at fundamentally. Other than that,